throughout the year, we hope you will choose to support the Detroit Jazz Festival Foundation by using our new Text to Give platform. Just text DJFF to 243-725. You can give a one-time gift or a monthly gift throughout the year. Welcome to the Detroit Jazz Festival Foundation's Jazz from the Cellar, our monthly program featuring live jazz performance from Detroit.
Yeah, hello. I'm Jesse Lear, and I was born in the Boston area, but I now live in New Jersey. So
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm Tyler Santee. I was born in Connecticut, but lived in New York. Grew up in New York most of my life, yeah.
Very cool. My name is Albert Kuo. I was born in Pennsylvania, but now I live in New Jersey.
My name's Austin Cluin. I was born in New Jersey, but now I live in Florida.
Wow, man, that's a change.
Yeah. I think I'm the only one. I'm Kalen Cardello. I was born in New Jersey and I still live in New Jersey.
Oh, good for you. And collectively, AK squared.
Yes,
right?
yes,
squared.
yes,
The
sir.
two AKs
AK,
are.
AK.
Albert Kuo and
Albert
Austin
Cluin,
Cluin.
Austin Cluin.
Uh-huh.
Apparently last
Well, let's talk a little bit about the music, because I mean, the thing that I was really impressed with when I heard your tape, and as you can imagine, the first time I and all the judges hear the tape, we don't know who they are. We're just listening to the music, and right away, a couple things struck me. First, it was the depth of your original repertoire, which was really cool and seems to be really important to the band.
Right.
Tell me a little bit. I mean, that was you guys formed as an ensemble, and a strong ensemble it is. Was that idea of original compositions always part of your goal? Did it just kind of show up? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, so we all attended Northwestern University, and so we were all in this group together. And so the way they do it at Northwestern for the small groups is that you do a lot of arranging of other people's tunes, and then you write your own tunes. So we all have had tunes that we've all written and played with each other and performed. So we figured we had all these tunes, and after discussing it with our teacher, we decided we should just play our originals, and since we have the opportunity to be in Detroit,
And
who knows?
showcase our music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also, I believe Jesse and I, our original compositions we wrote them during the quarantine period, so for me, this was like one of the first times I actually got to perform it live.
Very good.
That
And
is-
what was the title of that one, so we know?
Mine was titled Boo and Bam.
I mean, what's your thought about taking what you do, something that is very much a live performance art, and doing that in this different environment that we've all been subjected to? How is it? Has it fed you? What are the challenges? How have you overcome them? Are you looking forward to that going away, or are you going to live off some of that more? What are your thoughts?
I think we did as much as we could during this time to try to play together. I know last quarter in our school we made like virtual recordings, because that's, we all live in separate places. We can't really meet up to play, and like that was really helpful, because that's all we could do really, to get a sense of playing what it's like together. But gradually we're just trying to progress through these times, and through a couple rehearsals we did for this event. That was like some of our first times playing together since the quarantine period happened. But now, like playing at the Dirty Dog last night, that was really nice, because it's the first performance we all did. And then I'm assuming we're gonna be rehearsing up until the festival in September, which will be great. And we're just looking forward to get back into the swing of things.
Good words. Do you think there's certainly in every industry on the planet, there's been a lot of infrastructure built up around the whole distance thing and using technology in new ways, and certainly I've seen it in music for better or worse. Do you have any thoughts or maybe insights about anything positive or structures that have come out of this environment that might be actually valuable to the art moving forward?
Well, this doesn't have to do with specifically jazz, but I think people as a whole are getting a little less indifferent, sorry, and paying a little more attention to what's going on politically, culturally, socially, and everything like that. So I think just a more awake audience and a more awake people, I think, will have positive effects on jazz. I think they go hand in hand in indirect and direct ways. But specifically jazz, I think it hurts it for the time being, given that it's an improvisatory music. You have to play together, and it's in these smaller venues where it's tough to get a certain amount of people in, so you can get a profit off of a single night. But it has created a bunch of different opportunities technologically for music, where people are starting to get really creative in producing music and mixing it, in recording music, all from isolated environments, which is it's great. Our teacher, Victor Goins, worries that it's like that's going to become the norm. I don't think that's the case, but I think it's great to have multiple avenues of ways to do things.
Yeah, and I guess we'd like to say it goes without saying, but it doesn't go without saying, and I agree with Victor to some point. I mean, there is, it isn't a fait accompli that people won't get used to a certain style of ingestion of art, if we can put it that way, right, that is easy because you don't have to leave your pad or whatever. And I mean, really, if you would have told me 20 years ago that what you thought YouTube was going to be, I wouldn't have believed you, and yet I found value in it, as everyone has. And I think that the point, though, is we all agree there is no replacement, never will be, for live performance.
Yeah, right. Totally.
For musicians, I mean, as much on the bandstand, it's about the interaction and the vibe that you can cop that you really can't get any other way, and that specialness is what I believe makes the great performances. Right. But also, just sitting here tonight, any musician knows, I don't care how good the technology is, how great the mics in the studio are, you just can't hear the sound that cats get from their axes. So, how do you go from all this study of existing stuff and the transcriptions and learning repertoire to finding your own voice? Any thoughts about that?
Well, I think that's going back to one of the questions that you mentioned before about how everyone's dealing with these last 5-6 months. One of the beauties is that people have been able to isolate themselves and work on themselves as an artist, and being unique and finding their own voice. So I feel that, of course, through study and work and learning about the greats before you and the greats among us now, you will eventually find your own voice if you're really truly passionate about that. But I think another great thing about the past few months is that a lot of the power of social media, a lot of new artists, a lot of people have been discovered and have been putting out music, like Tyler said, in very creative ways. And there are ups and downs of social media, but on the upside is that everyone's been able to connect and find each other and
Levels the playing field a little bit.
Exactly, yeah. So I think in terms of finding your own voice, it's just you have to really want to be yourself as an artist and a unique artist. But in order to do so, you have to spend hours and hours and really understand yourself as a person, not just on a musical level, but an emotional, physical, mental. You have to find yourself. You have to. That's why there really are no greats who are our age. You can't really do that even as a 20-year-old. You have to at least spend. I don't know. I want to get too specific with it, but you
Yeah.
get what I'm saying. Like, you got to
Right.
spend many years.
You can be a great craftsman at 15 years old. We've heard them, right? But,
Yeah.
but a great artist,
Right.
that takes time. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There seems to be a true attachment to the traditional evolution of the underlying rhythmic importance of what you play, and you all seem to do it cohesively. You know, as always, you know, folks want to know, is it something you guys discuss as artists? Do you listen together? Do you live together, you know, outside of just the bandstand? Because I often find that does kind of bring you together. What kind of steps or how natural has it simply been that whole rhythmic swing thing that you guys have happening?
Well, we spend most of our time in the hotel, but
Yeah.
all listening to music together.
Very cool.
That's one. I've been studying with Willie Jones III the last 4 years, and he's straight out of that traditional swing
Right.
type of vibe. He's coming straight out of Billy Higgins, and because of that influence he has had on me, I've checked out Billy Higgins, Philly Joe Jones, Art Blakey, just because he just stressed those people to me. So that's why I was, you know, just steeped in the traditional jazz music like that, you know.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Other guys?
Yeah, well, this past year I lived with Tyler, actually.
Yeah.
And so he exposed me to a ton of drummers, a ton of information about drummers.
That's probably why you moved out.
Just kidding. No, but I wouldn't have, you know, I wouldn't have necessarily thought of those things right away. You know, the way that he listens for drummers' ride cymbals and how they comp with their left hand. These are things that horn players wouldn't think of right away when checking out drummers. You know, they wouldn't even know where to look necessarily when checking out drummers. So I think that was influential for me. And I think we all have had teachers that are really steeped in the not the swing tradition, as you said, to not put it in an era, but you know, it's a swing music and it's an eighth note music, and so I think we're all really aware of that when we're composing.
I'm sure you felt it last night when you guys kicked off the first tune. You know, right away that cohesive vibe of all living in this rhythmic space that you agreed to live in for that piece of music was powerful for the audience. And there were, of course, a lot of musicians in the audience, but I hope you sensed that, because there was this immediate distinction of the bands that had played before you in different bags. But that strong attachment to the traditional swing thing is just a very powerful thing. And it takes a maturity to pull it off. And like anything, that level of consistency throughout the band and throughout using individuals is something that takes some time. Very good, guys. Well, best of luck. Thanks for joining us on
Thank you.
Jazz in the Cellar, and we'll look forward to seeing you around Detroit.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Throughout tonight's show and throughout the year, we hope you will choose to support the Detroit Jazz Festival Foundation by using our new Text to Give platform. Just text DJFF to 243-725. You can give a one-time gift or a monthly gift throughout the year.